Hope Center has been providing basic needs, food, shelter, clothing, diapers and wipes, basic household furnishings, and financial assistance to men, women, and children in Waukesha, Wisconsin for over 35 years. Although prosperity and opportunity abound in Waukesha County, there are still well over 20,000 people, women, men, and children, living in poverty among us. On any given night, about 200 people are homeless in Waukesha. In addition to those who are homeless, there are many more people who are one missed paycheck, one job loss, one injury, one serious illness, one needed car repair, away from hunger and homelessness. So what happens when you have no emergency fund? What happens when no one sees you? What happens when you're living check to check and you lose your job? Or the work you have doesn't pay enough to feed, clothe, and shelter your family? Or if an illness, medical condition, injury, disability, or mental health issue renders you unable to work in a family supporting job? Where can you find a safe place where you and your children can get a hot meal, some decent clothes for school and work, personal care items, household items and furnishings, help with transportation, financial assistance, all for free for as long as it takes to get back on your feet? At Hope Center in Waukesha. When people think of Hope Center, they typically think of providing food, clothing, and daytime shelter to the chronically homeless, which is true because we are called to help the poor, hungry, and homeless. But in addition to the homeless, there are many more people making difficult choices between paying the rent or buying food. People who need a helping hand just to survive and stay one step ahead of hunger or homelessness. People who need a little help and a little hope. And that's where places like Hope Center and caring people like you come in. For over 35 years, Hope Center, and for 15 years prior to that, its predecessor organization, Cooperating Congregations of Waukesha, with the help of thousands of volunteers and a small, dedicated staff, has been providing basic needs to anyone who needs a helping hand. In a typical year, up to 250,000 articles of clothing are donated, and 90,000 are given away through Hope Center's clothing shop. 35,000 of those articles of clothing are for children. And over 12,000 hot meals are served, over 1,000 of those to children. Volunteers donate the food and clothing and up to 30,000 hours of their time to help make this happen. For the past 16 years, Hope Center has been operating in a former funeral home where our staff and volunteers provide quality services for our guests. But it's very crowded, needs extensive repairs, and with stairs to every floor, is not easily accessible to our guests or volunteers. The Day Center, where many people seek daytime shelter from heat, cold, snow, and rain, and where they come for meals, is in the basement, sharing space with the kitchen, walk-in cooler, walk-in freezer, and food storage. In these tight quarters, Hope Center's dedicated staff and volunteers provide a safe, warm, welcoming place for our guests and prepare, serve, and clean up after 3 hot meals daily. On the first floor, in addition to our intake center and offices, is the clothing shop, where at no charge our guests shop for children's, women's, and men's clothing, outerwear, and footwear. We also provide diapers, baby wipes, and baby layettes, all for free. No one pays for anything. at Hope Center. We have long needed a building with more space and better accessibility for our guests and volunteers. We looked around for years, but were unable to find a suitable building in our neighborhood. After considering our options, we decided to tear down and rebuild on our current site, but COVID-19 delayed the project. And in 2022, the bank building 1 block north of us, just over the railroad tracks at 101 West Broadway, went up for sale. So we took a look and knew right away that the bank building was a much better option than a tear down and rebuild on our current site. So we took a leap of faith and bought it. It's an ideal location, just 1 block away from our current location and fully accessible with no steps from the parking lot into the first floor, no steps on the first floor, and an elevator to all 3 floors. It triples our space for the day center, food service, and the clothing shop, and there are big windows providing daylight in the day room. And with more space, we have room to add services like a guest laundry and guest shower, health checkups, dental hygiene, haircuts, a social worker, mental health assessments, and other much needed services. And the clothing shop will finally have enough room for storing, sorting, and displaying all those generous donations of coats, shoes, and clothing for children, women, and men. We are also planning to build a 2,500 square foot garage on the new site for a new Project Move Center to receive, store, and distribute donated furniture, appliances, bedding, and household items. And we'll use the old drive-through canopy as a covered outdoor gathering space for our guests, which will be surrounded by green space instead of asphalt. By stepping out in faith and buying the former bank building, Hope Center has taken an important first step toward doing a better job of providing basic needs, expanding services, and providing healing and hope to vulnerable, underserved, and overlooked people for many more years. Be the hope for people in need by volunteering, donating, and supporting Hope Center. We hope you will consider making a financial contribution toward the new building renovation project. This chart provides an example of the gifts needed to reach our goal of $2.5 million. You can make a one-time gift or a pledge given in payments over 3 to 5 years. A wall of appreciation will be installed in the new Hope Center, recognizing all donors with gifts of $5,000 or more. We are open to discussing naming rights or other recognition for major gifts. All gifts will be acknowledged when we dedicate our new facility. Thank you for considering making your meaningful financial gift to Hope Center. You can be the hope.